Morning campers. I've had to fit in the workout today between the showers because it doesn't know what it's doing. So let's do our little 10 minutes together. Roll the shoulders back and down, sit up nice and tall in the chair, drawing up the chest, holding the tummy in quite tight, and then let's bring the heels to the floor, the toes to the sky. So just as far as you can. If your knees are a bit creaky, don't stretch the legs out completely straight. And that is something we don't want to happen. We want to be sitting up, keeping the torso nice and tall as we just stretch out one leg and then the other. If the camera goes wobbly, it's because the cat's just going round the chair legs that I've got the camera on at the minute. Lovely. Let's have that great creaky shoulder roll back, which I do like nearly every workout. I start because my shoulders always seem to need it, and then as if we're in the Paralympics where we're bringing those wheelchair wheels forward nice and slowly. So your circles might be little wee ones, or you might be able to get them big ones leading with the elbows. Rest your hands on the thighs, look over one shoulder and then back to the centre, and then the other shoulder. My hair's at maximum floof today, so I've tied it all up. You know when you wash it and can't do a thing with it? It's like that a lot of the time these days. And then chin to the chest, stretching the back of the neck and looking up to the ceiling or the sky if you're in the garden like me. And then back to those stretches, heel to me, toe to the sky, and then we're going to add the same arm pushing forward as if you're shutting a door, fingers to the sky, so we're feeling a bit of a stretch in the wrist and in the forearms. If you can, both hands forward, shut that door. Heel forward, heels of the hands forward. A nice chest press here, front of the shoulders, pectoral muscles, and that stretch back with the fingers to stretch out the wrist. Lovely. And then back to the shoulder rolls. Fantastic. So in any move, just experiment with it and then see how that goes. So now we're going to pick the apple. So it's a reach, twist and pull down. So I bet some of you have been scrumping. I didn't actually, bizarrely, I did everything else as a kid, but I didn't go scrumping because in the back of where we live there was a couple of old apple trees and a couple of old pear trees. In the olden days when everybody not only had a garden, but I think we had things like comfrey, and we had apples and pears, and we had gooseberries. We'd even had asparagus and rhubarb that just grew. You know, we didn't plant them or anything, so hey, fantastic. Hands on the thighs again, and let's lean forward, creaky back stretch, and then back in. Yours might be fine, it might be just mine that's creaky. So the more you tend to sit still of a day, the creakier the joints can be. So I don't know if you've heard this phrase, sitting is the new smoking. So ideally you want to be getting up every half hour or so, moving around. Even if you're not going for walks still, you can get out for a walk, or a bit of gardening, or just a walk around the block, or even just get out of your sofa or the chair and move around the house. Do a few of these exercises. Fantastic. Obviously if you're in a wheelchair and you can't get out of the wheelchair, you can still do the upper body versions. So we're going to go back to the heels forward, heels on the floor, toes to the sky, and this time we're going to reach the fingers forward, palms down, and we're going to be rowing those elbows back. So mine are around shoulder height, so sideways on, that's what my arms are doing. However, if your shoulders are aching, your shoulders might feel better with pulling the elbows slightly down at that angle. So rather than there, as we're doing this move, see what feels best for you. At the same time, even if your arms are up, be aware of that. Shoulders down, away from the ears. Whoops, I've lost my rhythm there. Doesn't really matter if you pull back with the arms forward and back at the same time as the legs, but if you can do it at the same time, that's great. But it doesn't matter, for instance, if you're pulling back here or you're pulling back there. And then relax the arms, and we're going to breathe in through the nose if you can, and let it go with a bit of a sigh. So deep breath in, shoulders to the ears, and a one more time, and a fantastic. I'm going to bring the knee up a little bit now, so you might feel that a little bit in front of the hip, and we're going to climb a ladder. Opposite arm, opposite leg, opposite arm, opposite leg. So a small move, just bringing the toe an inch or so off the floor, will still work the back a little bit. So if your back's a bit tight, keep it there. If you want to, you can reach a bit higher. And all these moves you can do standing up as well, with variations. So you might want to look at some of the videos I've done with standing variations of this. So this is quite a big exercise for the heart and lungs, as well as the arms, shoulders, back, a little bit into the hip flexor. So if you need a break at any point, you do a break. Again, shoulder wise, you might be doing the arms a little bit smaller range of movement, or that reach up a little bit higher so you feel the stretch in the waist, and then just relax them down, give them a bit of a shake. So we're going to reach forward and shut that door now. So twist the knob, pull it back in. So my arms are reaching forward and pulling back behind me. So one arm at a time. If that's all right, you can do reach as if you're turning 2 doorknobs and pull back in. Reach, working the shoulders and the wrists a little bit, and then pull back in. If you really want to work the brain, we're going to do the same thing with the legs, stretching out as the arms stretch out, and then the elbows pull in. If you want to just do same arm, same leg, that's obviously half as hard because you're just doing one arm at a time. So working into the chest, working into the shoulders. Just a couple more. Remember, you can stop whenever you want. Fantastic. Arms by the side, that zipping up feeling to sit like our own dear queen, and just a little stretch side to side. So we're not slumping here, we're keeping the torso nice and tall, sensation of drawing up, and then just the stretch on each side of the ribs and the waist. If you want to, you can start to slide your fingers up towards the waist. So if you can see my elbows coming up, and we're working the top of the shoulder muscles, the deltoids again. So if that's not doing it for your shoulders, then move a little bit smaller, as if you're, well, now the pubs are open, as if you're reeling home for the pub in slow motion. Oh, a little bit scriffing. Please don't do that. That's probably dangerous. And then we're going to do the harder one. So the legs are coming out again, that stretch, heel to the floor, toe to the sky. And we're going to reach and pick the apple at the same time. So arm up as the legs out. Arms above the heart's a pump, a little bit more aerobic work for your heart and lungs. Both arms up, twist and pull, twist and pull. Any of these moves don't suit that particular joint. You do it without the twist, so you might just reach and pull, reach and pull. And then really imagine you're pulling down a branch, so you're just resisting that move, and then relax them down. Legs, if you want to, we're now going to put the hands on the thighs, and you should feel that big quadricep muscle contracting as we press each heel forward, as if you're pushing the door shut with your heel. So it's a real flex of the foot. You might feel the stretch up the calf and the hamstring. Again, not slumping in the chair, but sitting high. And then we add opposite arm this time, opposite leg. Heel of the hand pushing forward, and our last little bit coming up. And remember, you can always do a little section on the 5-minute warm-up and a 5-minute stretch after this, or a little bit of aerobics after this, or add a bit with the band or the weights. You know, just look on the YouTube, there's lots of these 5-minute sections. And then the grand finale, opposite arm stretching up with the heel of the hand this time, stretching above your head as if you're pushing that branch that we pinch those apples from back above your head and say, who, me? No, I didn't take any of the apples. Fantastic. Give those fingers a little bit of a shake. A flamenco move to ease into your wrist joints, relax the shoulders down. We're going to finish with 2, 3. Let's do 3. Deep breath in, shoulders up to the ears and back down. 2 more. Last one. Lovely. Well done, everybody. I'll see you next time.